melting on the midway. Tips to stay cool.
Wearing loose-fitting clothing, drinking lots of water, wearing a hat.
So you can still enjoy the show safely. Plus, filling the tank for much, much less.
I've never seen gas this cheap since I could have my license.
Calgarians lining up for a good old-fashioned price war.
Bottom line, enjoy it while you can.
And emergency fundraisers for an emergency repair.
We want to support them in their need.
Community groups rally around Calgary's historic Legion Branch No. 1.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. It was a short-lived chance at savings and some Calgary drivers were the lucky few. A gas price war saw some stations drop prices to nearly $1 per litre. It's a price we haven't seen in years and it may not be the last of it. Jordan Canagan reports.
The lineups were long and the pumps were packed. Gas prices plummeted at some Calgary stations.
Never. I've never seen gas this cheap since I could have my license.
I would say in the last month, we've seen gas price wars, which we never really experienced too much before.
On Tuesday morning, a Tempo in Sundance lowered prices to 102.9 cents a litre. Just a few minutes away, a mobile station in Shaughnessy slashed its price to 103.8. They weren't the only ones, and Calgary hasn't had gas prices that low since 2020.
Probably for areas like Calgary, the break-even's probably about $1.20 a liter today. So, the margin for a lot of stations might only be 9 or 10 cents a liter, and those stations that are selling close to $1 are probably taking it on the chin.
He says it isn't sustainable for very long, and the cheaper stations had raised prices by late in the day, but other areas of Canada, including Winnipeg, are also seeing hours-long gas sell-offs and fluctuating prices.
We have seen an incredible amount of volatility in the price of gasoline over the last couple of weeks. We've seen Middle East tensions flare up, the price of oil surging, then plummeting. So keep in mind that stations generally fill their underground tanks every 2 to 4 days.
While some stations neared a loonie a litre, others blocks away were higher priced and less busy. Drivers who filled up for less are grateful for the reprieve.
I'm just happy as a consumer that it's gone down a bit for us. It's a bit of a break considering all the cost of living has gone up in Calgary. So appreciate what's going on.
It costs me a lot of money driving gas, especially when it's up to $2 a litre some days. But yeah, I saw the price at $1.03 and figured this is a lot better than the $1.35 I was seeing downtown.
Jordan joins us from the Tempo in Sundance tonight. Jordan, it was cheap there earlier, so could it fall again?
Tara, some of the drivers we spoke to here at this Tempo earlier today say they've actually seen those lower prices in bursts over the last day or two, and the gas price expert agrees. He says it is possible to find some of those discounts, especially at some of the stations in the prairies here in Canada. The average price of gas is comparatively low when you look at the rest of the country, and that's because some refineries in the interior U.S. are able to sell at a discount right now. But overall, the price of oil has stabilized a little bit as tensions in the Middle East cool off. As that gas expert pointed out, those stations that are selling near $1 are selling at a loss. So he says if you can find those cheaper prices, take advantage while you can. Tara?
Thank you, Jordan. It may cost more to heat your home this winter, too. A new report from Deloitte is forecasting a big jump in Alberta natural gas prices next year. That's because an export facility is now up and running in Kitimat, BC. Alberta producers now have an outlet for their gas to markets beyond the United States. LNG Canada is shipping ultra-chilled gas across the Pacific to Asian markets. Alberta's public investment funds spent $7.9 million last year in severance packages to executives it laid off. Aimco paid Chief Investment Officer Marlene Puffer nearly $6 million in wages and benefits last September when it let her go. Puffer had been there for only about 20 months. Weeks later, Aimco fired the entire board, including CEO Evan Siddle. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper has been named chair board. Aimco manages $180 billion in pension money for public employees in Alberta. The report on severance pay came out in its annual report released in late June. It is a Stampede scorcher tonight. The Midway is packed and people are doing what they can to stay cool, whether that's standing in a refreshing mist at a cooling station, maybe having a cold drink, a reprieve in the shade, or if you can find it, an air-conditioned building. One of the things that really cranks up the heat is all that concrete baking in the sun, and when you add in those crowds, it gets even hotter. Alicia Fieldberg joins us from the grounds tonight. So, Alicia, what's the temperature where you guys are?
Well, Tara, I've got a temperature gun here, and in the shade, it says 32 degrees. So still extremely hot here. That's dangerous when you're down here on the grounds for a long time. Dangerous for you, dangerous for your ice cream cones. So it's important.
Yours.
Yeah, especially mine. So it's important to find ways to keep cool. As the sun blazes and the temperatures rise, Stampede Park heats up even more with all the people and pavement.
Oh, it is boiling.
It is
searing.
So when you find a way to cool off, you've really got to sink your teeth and toes into it. It helps a lot, actually.
Anytime there's shade, we got to take a little stop, get a little misting.
So when the heat hits 28, we pull out extra misters, and there's extra water fountains. So we want to make sure this is a safe place for everybody. And so when the heat comes up, we make sure that there's ways to stay cool.
While water filling stations have long lines during the heat, slowing down for a while doesn't hurt.
If you can go inside where there is air conditioning for an extended period of time, so at least a half an hour, if not an hour.
Taking temperatures at several locations around the park shows the places with a bit of relief. It was about 30 degrees Celsius, and that was the temperature reading at Elbow River Camp. In the shady grandstand seats, it was 25 degrees. In the BMO's Western Oasis, it was 23 degrees. In the Western Event Center, it was 21 degrees. The worst, of course.
Okay, let's see how hot the Midway pavement is.
46 degrees. Some people find alternatives.
So hot out. I'm dying out there. And plus I wanted to get lemonade inside and not stand outside for lemonade.
If the heat starts making you feel lightheaded or nauseous with a fast heart rate, you might need medical attention.
And heat stroke is actually something that is very serious, and you can be hospitalized because of that.
There are EMS crews at the park, and you can call 911 to get help. Pretty much every Stampede comes with some extreme heat, so people know to plan ahead.
We brought like 7 water bottles, and we also have a cooler full of other cool drinks.
We'll go to the BMO Center and we will go into the Big Four. There's an arcade in there that we saw.
Or make some last-minute purchases.
And we weren't really planning on buying it. We were just protecting their heads from all the hotness.
So, Alicia, you and Glenn are enjoying some cold treats there. I'm sure you aren't the only ones on the Midway, but that's a bit of a challenge on a hot day.
It's very challenging. So we bought these at about 5 to 6. As you can see, mine's a pineapple puddle right now, but Glenn's is holding up better.
This is the mango. The mango's much better. So if you're down here, get the mango, right? Yours is you better eat that fast.
Mine's good if you want to eat quickly. Glenn's is good if you want to savor it for a while. Another tip, the misters, actually with this temperature gun, it was 19 degrees in the mister when it was about 30 degrees or 46 down on the pavement. So that's not a good idea for your ice cream cone.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanks, you guys. Stay cool down there. Let's check in with Danielle. I mean, 32, I think she said, in the shade. Surely we broke records today.
Yeah. We've unofficially broke a record in Calgary today. So clearly, Alicia isn't bringing that ice cream back to the studio for us to enjoy here because it won't make it. Yes, unofficially we've broken a record. Now, Environment Canada still has to confirm that. They double-check the numbers throughout the day, but we got to 31.9, it looks like, and the record is 31.7 from 1919. So, yes, it's a scorcher. And there's that 31.9. So on this, it shows you 32 because it rounds up. But there is a bit of a breeze here and there, which is helpful. It helps things feel a little cooler. And if you are not a fan of this excessive heat, then tomorrow will be a better day for you because it won't be as hot. We're looking at 25 degrees, a good amount of cloud cover throughout the day, only a few sunny breaks expected at times. And then we have the potential for showers and even some thunderstorm activity later in the day tomorrow. So a relief from the heat, but the temperatures will start to build back in on Friday. I'll show you that coming up, Tara.
All right, Danielle, thank you. We told you last night about noise complaints around the Cowboys Stampede tent. Well, the irritation continues. the city received 23 new noise complaints overnight. Prior to that, there were 16 noise complaints since the start of Stampede. In a statement, the city says between midnight and 1 a.m. Tuesday, officers found both the Cowboys and Badlands tents were in breach of sound levels. The statement says the sound was adjusted to comply. This is the first year Cowboys is hosting its music festival in the west end of the city. In previous years, it was beside Stampede Park.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
A man has been charged with first-degree murder after providing fentanyl to a teenager. In April of 2020, an 18-year-old Chestermere resident died after consuming cough syrup laced with a fatal dose of fentanyl. After a 5-year investigation, Mohit Sandhu from Conrich has been charged. Court documents say the accused is also facing an attempted murder charge after he allegedly gave the laced cough syrup to a 25-year-old Calgary resident who did not end up drinking it. Arrest warrants are out for a Calgary woman wanted for sexually assaulting a minor. Camilla DiGiuseppe is working on this story for us, and Cam police say the alleged incident involves a 13-year-old boy.
Tara, yes, and investigators say it happened in the middle of the day on June 1st near the Somerset Brattlwood LRT station. Despite attempts to locate her, 49-year-old Regina Carla Fitzgerald, seen here, remains at large. Police believe the suspect struck up a conversation with the boy, making sexual comments before inappropriately touching him. The victim got away and told a nearby adult to call for help. Fitzgerald is now wanted on warrants for sexual assault and sexual interference. She is about 5'2", 120 pounds, with a slim build, brown eyes, and short blonde hair. Tara, if anyone knows Regina Fitzgerald's whereabouts, they are urged to contact police or anonymously through Crime Stoppers.
Camilla, thank you. We have breaking news from downtown tonight. Police have blocked off an area around Central Memorial Park after someone spotted a suspicious package late this afternoon. This is a live shot of 12th Avenue and 2nd Street Southwest. You can see police cars restricting traffic in that area. There is no word yet on the risk or when the area will reopen. Residents in a Northwest condo complex called 911 today after hearing what they thought was an explosion in their building this afternoon. It turns out the noise was caused by a pallet of shingles falling through the roof. A crew was working on the complex in Panorama Hills at the time. The building was evacuated and no one was hurt. A crane was brought in to remove the rest of the pallets. A gondola that fell to the ground at Kicking Horse Mountain Resort 4 months ago still has not been repaired. The work is delayed because of supply chain backlogs. In March, a cabin near the base of the Golden Eagle Express gondola fell to the ground. 8 passengers inside avoided serious injury. The gondola has been closed ever since. The resort says all gondola cabin hanger arms will be replaced with newly manufactured parts. However, due to supply chain delays, the parts are now expected to ship during the first week of August. Hikers and mountain bikers do still have access to a chairlift. Just ahead on CTV News, an historic building in desperate need of repair. Community members now stepping up and encouraging others to chip in to save the Royal Canadian Legion No. 1. And hiding in plain sight, 4 people arrested after an anti-government militia plot is discovered in Quebec. We're back in about 1 minute. We're learning today about a shocking conspiracy uncovered by RCMP. Some active members of the Canadian Armed Forces are accused of trying to start an anti-government militia motivated by violent extremism. 4 men are now facing charges. CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture has more on who these men are and what exactly they were planning.
With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot Simon Anger-Odette and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. Police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The four accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
President Donald Trump says he is bringing in a new tariff that could have a major impact on Canada.
Today we're doing copper.
Copper, what would that tariff be on? The section tariff?
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%.
Trump made the statement during a cabinet meeting today. His Commerce Secretary later said the import tax will likely take effect by the end of this month or on August 1st. Canada is a top supplier of copper to the United States. The U.S. accounted for 52% of Canada's copper export value in 2023. The metal is used in construction, transportation, electronics, and many other industries. Trump says he also plans to announce pharmaceutical tariffs that could reach 200% and duties on imported semiconductors. Families in Texas are getting the devastating news about loved ones who didn't survive the floods. Word today that more than 160 people are still missing and more than 100 confirmed dead. We're also hearing about the challenging circumstances facing rescue teams. Here's Adrian Gabriel.
There's people in it. Oh my God, there's so many people in it.
This video from Camp La Junta shows a cabin ripped from its foundation, floating down the Guadalupe River. Attending the camp, brothers Braden and Brock Davis, who credit their counselors with saving their lives.
Our bed starting tipping over, and like we got to the top really quick.
I want my world to know the Lord of love has come to me.
As campers sing a hymn, a passenger on board this evacuation bus realizes the level of devastation.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
These young girls were rescued from Camp Mystic, where more than 24 have been confirmed dead. The National Weather Service issued their first public warning at 1:14 a.m. on the 4th of July. The Kerr County Sheriff admitting that he wasn't aware of the fast-approaching surge until at least 3 hours later.
When I was first notified, it was around the 4 to 5 area. One of my sergeants was in dispatch when the first calls started coming in, the actual 911 calls come in.
Though officials today declined to answer whether a local emergency manager notified authorities of the incoming flash flood.
We will get answers. Right now, all of our resources are focused to recovery.
With the chance of any further rescues fading with each passing hour, hope in Central Texas is turning to heartache over the precious lives swept away. During a cabinet meeting today, President Donald Trump praised the quick deployment of state and federal rescue crews, saying that without them, the number of dead could have doubled or even tripled. Trump confirming that he will be traveling to survey the natural disaster zone in Texas this Friday. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Washington.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle in again as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. When it's this hot, you know, during Stampede, we usually get thunderstorms.
Yes, and that may arrive for us tomorrow. You know, we always have to make this interesting, right? And here we go. Especially these next couple of days where showers definitely possible and embedded thunderstorms likely in that as well. All right, so it looks like we broke a record here in Calgary. I'm sure there are many other communities that did. We'll wait for Environment Canada to confirm it. They double-check the numbers and provide confirmation tomorrow morning. Okay, so about 32, again, the airport, this is rounding up, 32 in Calgary, 33 in Brooks and Medicine Hat, 32 in Drumheller, and 31 in Lethbridge. So a lot of heat. Basically, for the country, the warmest pocket is southern Alberta and this little corner of southeastern eastern BC. So we have some heat, yes, as you know, east of Calgary, so Strathmore over to Brooks, down through Vulcan, Champion, Medicine Hat, Foremost, Many Berries. These areas still under the heat warning, and the reason why is because this will be 2 days of heat. So while we're looking at things cooling down, that cooler air will arrive, not for tomorrow, but arrive for tomorrow in Calgary. But for these communities, we have one more day of heat before the cooler air settles in. So I'll show you that here. We have this trough that will start to make its way in tomorrow. That's going to give us cloud cover in Calgary. It will drop our temperatures to those mid-20s, give us a chance of showers, maybe even some thunderstorm activity as well. But it'll take an extra day, as you can see, for that colder air to filter in to the far south. So by Friday, we look at another ridge starting to make its way in as well. All right, so I'm going to show you how this all plays out here. So here's the edge of that ridge of high pressure. We have the cloud cover along that. We have the moisture, and that's going to start to move its way down, and we'll notice a difference in Calgary tomorrow. So as I play this through, you can see even through tonight and tomorrow morning, we have the potential of seeing any sort of activity on the BC side. And then for tomorrow morning in Calgary, mainly cloudy, and by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Calgary, we get into the chance of some showers and even some thunderstorms. Activity is possible. And then that will make its way into the southeast corner on Thursday. So Thursday in Calgary, we are looking at heavy rain, especially for the morning hours, and it will likely pick up later in the day. So in the afternoon on Thursday for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. So all of these communities could pick up about 5 millimeters of rain on Thursday from this. And temperatures will be even cooler by then as well. All right, here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 25 for tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover, winds picking up in the afternoon, the chance of showers and thunderstorms later in the day, and then rain, consistent rainfall on Thursday up to about 5 millimeters possible, which is a high of 19, but we'll bounce back with the sunshine for Friday and the weekend, and by then temperatures in those mid-20s, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 1 is in dire need of donations. It needs to repair its roof, and it's expected to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. The historic site has served as a hub for Legion members, veterans, and other Calgarians to share stories for more than a century. But with a membership base dwindling and location challenges, donations are hard to find. Tyson Fedor explains.
The Stampede spirit is in full swing at the Royal Canadian Legion's downtown branch, but this historic site is in need of major repairs.
We have the emergency roof repair, which is going to start on the Monday following the Stampede, if weather cooperates.
A repair that will cost $30,000 on top of the $12,000 already spent for an initial assessment. Some of that money coming from the Historical Society grant funding. But over the next 5 years, the roof will need replacing to the tune of $270,000 or more. And the Legion is in need of donations to make it happen.
You know, you get a good turnout on Remembrance Day, or if you get a special function of some sort in here, you get the crowds. But other than that, yeah, it's a hard sell.
That is why the staff at Western Healthcare that offers medical equipment to seniors, refugees, and veterans is stepping in.
Our main aim is to help our community, right? And especially the seniors, the veterans, or whosoever is in need of these equipments, right? For their daily living aids.
Next month, they are hosting a fundraiser with all proceeds going to help with roof repairs at the Legion.
It was a pretty big deal for us to have these people fight for our freedom, and so we definitely want to support them in any way that we can. We're putting up a QR code on our website as well for Western Healthcare, so any of our vendors or people that we align with and support out in the community otherwise can help out with donating that way. We're looking to have some silent auction items as well.
The Legion has made donations at the site quite easy, offering a tap and pay system of $5, $10, or $20. The windows, bathrooms, and air conditioning system will also need to be upgraded to the 103-year-old building that has been a staple in the downtown. Now its members are hopeful to entice new people to join.
And anyone can join the Legion. All you have to be is a Canadian citizen, period. End of story.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
And donations can be accepted online or at the Legion branch on 7th Avenue Southeast. Young workers are finding it tougher to connect. Still to come, some Gen Z don't seem to have the soft skills to figure out life at the office. And Coldplay has its first concert in Toronto in years, but the band doesn't seem too sure about the venue. We'll explain. The Calgary Stampede is also doubling as something of a political rodeo this week as candidates for City Hall try to connect with potential voters. Signs and billboards are going up around town, but some political watchers say the tactics being applied right now may not keep voters engaged all the way to October. Stephanie Thomas explains.
Yahoo is often shouted out and printed during the Calgary Stampede. Now it's on the Calgary Party's posters, wrapping lampposts throughout the city, as well as several digital billboards with first-time politician Brian Thiessen.
People are finally turning their attention to the municipal election. They go through Stampede. They realize there's something coming up. I think it's good to put ourselves on their radar to get people thinking about the issues.
His team says the signs will come down at the end of Stampede. The City of Calgary says the signs are compliant with bylaws. Posters are temporarily allowed on light poles with conditions. The rules are further relaxed during the election period starting in September to one day after Election Day. Jeremy Farkas ran for mayor in 2021. Now he's running again as an independent.
Stampede every year. It is the politician petting zoo, but also a lot of business gets done. You get a lot of opportunity to be able to meet folks that you otherwise wouldn't.
For Jeff Davison, running for mayor is not his first rodeo either, having also run for the city's top job 4 years ago.
People tell me Calgary needs a change, right? I think there's a lot of change coming. People are quite upset with the last 3.5 years, and so we hope to be that positive change.
Sonia Sharp is a sitting councillor vying for the mayor's chair and is actively campaigning at Stampede breakfasts.
Everyone's kind of happy. You're not interrupting a dinner or a late night, and you're out having that conversation, the same conversation you would probably have on someone's doorstep.
Some Calgarians don't mind pairing their pancakes with politicians.
Old school works. As much as there is social media, old school still works.
Some political watchers say voters could get fatigue with less than 100 days to go.
Most Albertans aren't going to pay attention to the municipal election until we get much closer to that date.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Mayor Jyoti Gondek, who's also running again, was not available for comment today. The election is October 20th. It's hard to squeeze in exercise when you have a new baby, but these dads have figured it out. They've got a standing date to Blade, and the baby comes along. Our trending videos are just ahead. The band Oasis is celebrating the kickoff of its reunion tour. The British rockers released a highlight reel of their first show in Wales. The performances mark the end of a 16-year hiatus for the group, following a public feud between brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher. They are now set to begin a stretch of 5 shows in their hometown of Manchester on Friday. Oasis will hit the stage in Toronto on August 24th and 25th for the only Canadian dates of this reunion tour. Coldplay lit up Toronto last night, the first of 4 shows in that city, and the band's first visit in over 8 years. Frontman Chris Martin joked with fans, thanking them for making the trek.
And we'd like to say thank you so much for coming through all the bullshit you have to come through to this weird stadium in the middle of nowhere. So thank you for...
The concerts are happening at the brand new Rogers Stadium. Fans say things did run smoother than the venue's debut show last week. There was better signage, more bathrooms, more staff guiding the crowd. Coldplay is back on stage tonight with 2 more shows set for Friday and Saturday.
Maybe even some parking.
Maybe some parking, yes. Well, let's kick trending off with a couple of best friends rolling into parenthood together.
Okay.
These 2 dads are loving dad life every day. They strap on their rollerblades and they turn their neighborhood into their own personal roller rink. They bring the strollers along. It's their daily dad date.
That's a great idea.
Isn't that a great idea? The kids get out, the dads get some exercise.
Get the kids used to some speed, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
More importantly, moms get some downtime.
Right.
Take the baby.
A nap.
Yes. Now to a backyard that's become a little bit squirrely. This is a bit like one of those ninja warrior courses, except it's for the neighborhood squirrels. So they're scurrying, they're balancing, they're climbing. Of course, it's all to get a snack. That's what's at the end. I think this homeowner has sort of inadvertently built a training gym for these squirrels.
Yeah, but then what if in like a couple days there's about 30 squirrels?
That is a problem.
And then 40 squirrels.
He told a friend, and then he told a friend. Yeah. Well, on a day as hot as this, expending that kind of energy on the playground would not be for everyone.
Oh, wow.
It took you a second, didn't it? You're expecting a kid. No, this lab is living his best life. This is Bailey. Nothing makes Bailey happier than just sitting on a swing, watching the world go by.
I love that there's the, the spot for the tail.
Yeah.
Just casually.
When it's hot, 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 you don't want to run around the park. You just, push me on the swing.
This pup doesn't see a difference between him and the kid next to him.
No.
Yeah.
Like they've all gone to the park for a play, and they all want to swing. Makes perfect sense. Still to come, looking into the books at Amazon. Canada's Competition Bureau investigates whether buyers are actually getting the best price.
Oh, Skywatch weather camera. And, you can't tell how hot it is just by this shot, but you can see a lot of blue sky. We got a lot of sunshine today. It's stable, it's bright, and that allowed the temperature to get quite toasty out there. In fact, likely record-breaking. Again, Environment Canada still has to confirm this. But at the airport, today's high, it looks like 31.9, and the record is 31.7 from 1919. So a long-time record to have broken. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things here, because the interesting thing is how it's going to cool down for some communities tomorrow, Calgary included in that. But for the far south, you're holding on to the heat for another day. And that's why there are warnings in place for many of these communities. So into the 30s, as you can see, Calgary and down. And yeah, it's been a hot one. I'm sure many broken records, and I can give you a bit of a list tomorrow once Environment Canada confirms them. So just off to the east of Calgary, Strathmore, down through Vulcan and Champion, over to Brooks, Medicine Hat, Foremost, Many Berries, these areas under the heat warning for another day. We're holding on to the heat here because things are going to start to transition as the front moves down like this and the jet stream forces that down. So here you go. Here's the edge of that ridge of high pressure. It's further south than what it was yesterday. So it's already starting to make its way down. That's why there's active weather possible through the next couple of hours in central Alberta from this. This is going to start to make its way down into Calgary. So for us in Calgary, we're looking at cloud cover for tomorrow and cooling temps. I'll show you more in just a second here. Showers likely tomorrow in southern interior BC. Edmonton, mostly cloudy, and then Olds down through Calgary, Coronation. We are looking at that potential for showers and thunderstorm activity later in the day tomorrow, and gusty up to 70 kilometers per hour. Pincher Creek, Crowsnest Pass, Lethbridge, over to Medicine Hat. But as you can see, these areas will hold on to the heat. And looking at that 10-day trend, yes, we cool down to 19 with heavy rain on Thursday. That's your forecast brought to you by Action Furnace.
Stampede goers are being advised to take breaks to cool off. Stampede Park can get extra hot because of all the people on the pavement. The Stampede is reminding patrons to cool off in air-conditioned buildings and drink plenty of water. The city is getting more noise complaints about Stampede party tents. Bylaw officers found the Cowboys and Badlands tents in breach of sound levels between midnight and 1 a.m. today. And a gas war meant many Calgary drivers filled up for close to $1 a litre last night and today. The war seems to be over, though, with many stations now selling for 20 cents more. Gen Z entered the workforce mid-pandemic when masks and remote meetings were the norm. Some say this has impacted their so-called soft skills. As CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, many younger employees are actually struggling to fit into the working world.
The pandemic is fading, but its impacts are proving to be long-lasting, particularly when it comes to the underdeveloped social skills of Gen Z, as the expectation to move from online to in-person became a reality.
Even though I knew people before, it was like strange to come and talk to them.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Simon Sherry says the effects felt by Gen Z, people born between 1997 and 2012, have much to do with the restrictions that were in place during COVID.
They were exposed to prolonged remote learning. On top of that, they're a generation very much involved in screens, which doesn't promote your social and emotional competencies in real time.
As a result, etiquette specialist Julie Blake-Homo says important soft skills like a strong handshake were never taught or adapted. Same thing goes for social skills outside the workplace.
Dining etiquette, a lot of them find themselves at a power business lunch or breakfast or dinner, and they're paralyzed because they don't know, is that my bread plate? Is it okay to clink wine glasses?
So how can you tell if you may be in need of workplace etiquette?
If after an event, a meeting, you're constantly thinking back, oh, yeah, that wasn't great, eh? I wish I would have known better.
Como says her Gen Z clients have expressed a willingness to learn.
I do believe that the soft skills, that the etiquette will help all, not only Gen Z employees, but all of us.
It's going to be difficult and a little stressing, but the more we'll do it, the more it's going to be easy and normal to us.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Amazon's pricing policy is being looked at by a Canadian law enforcement agency. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez explains.
The Competition Bureau has Amazon under the microscope, investigating whether the online retailer broke rules of competition. More specifically, if it prevents sellers from selling for less on other platforms. Amazon says its tools are designed to enable customers to make informed purchase decisions. By the way, the Bureau also has another open case on Amazon looking at possible false or misleading claims. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar moved up a fraction to 73.12. West Texas Intermediate moved up to 68.36. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up 85 cents to 55.76. And the TSX dropped more than 100 points today, ending the day at 26,903. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Stampede Chuck Wagon Committee gave us a special behind the barn doors tour today. We got a look at the barns where the horses are kept and the care stations they have. Animal advocates continue to raise concerns about distress that the animals face at the Stampede. The Chuck Wagon Committee says it is on the leading edge of livestock health and safety. It says facilities have changed considerably over the years, especially since old wooden barns were used.
They were all wooden barns, dirt floors, and it's moved over to this H barn, which over the last few years, it used to be clay bottom. Now there's matting in there. Every year they look at different things that with newer technologies, newer sciences that they can improve that stay for the horses.
The committee says it's looking at revamping the barns even further, including possibly adding air conditioning in the years to come. Breakaway roping is a new event at the Stampede, and some riders have more than got the hang of it. Glenn has that story for us next.
We all decided that the best spot for me next year will be Penn State University. I think Penn State is a great spot for me.
That's 17-year-old superstar Gavin McKenna of the Medicine Hat Tigers announcing he will play U.S. college hockey next season. He revealed the news live on ESPN late this afternoon. McKenna is widely expected to be the #1 pick in next year's NHL draft. This is a groundbreaking move. It's the first time a CHL superstar has chosen to play for name, image, and likeness money at a U.S. college. McKenna's compensation package is expected to be around $700,000 U.S. We are now at the midway point of the Calgary Stampede. Glenn Campbell joins us again from Stampede Park. And Glenn, it was roasting out there today. Did that affect some of the performances?
Tara performed way better than our ice cream from way earlier. Listen, really hot down here, but it didn't seem to bother the Cowboys, Cowgirls, or the stock. Let's get to the action from day 5 of the Stampede Rodeo. As usual, we will start it off with the bareback, and that is one of the young stars in the sport. 21-year-old Sam Peterson of Helena, Montana on Twin Cherry. What a ride that was. 89 points. That's the best of the day. Ladies barrel racing now, and for the second day in a row, Megan McLeod-Sprague is your ladies barrel winner. She was lightning fast around there again today, getting around the barrels in 17.21 seconds. She's won $14,000. Good bet she'll be around for Sunday. Let's go to some tie-down roping, and for the second day in a row, a Harris is a winner. Ty, of course, he won yesterday. Today, it was his brother Joel and he gets that calf down in 7.8 seconds. He takes home a cool $7,000. Steer wrestling, and we had a three-way tie for first place. First out was Cash Rob of Altamont, Utah. He takes that steer down in 3.9 seconds. Rowdy Parrott from Mamou, Louisiana, was able to equal that number, 3.9, to get his steer down as well. And then this does not happen very often. Will Loomis of Byhalia, Mississippi, he gets the steer down in 3.9 as well. They split first, second, and third and walk away with $5,667. Saddle Bronc, we had some great rides out there today. That's Brody Wells of Powell, Wyoming on Ginger Snap. Just take a look at how good that ride is. Those two combined for 89.5 points. Best of the day in the Saddle Bronc. A breakaway roping, that's the new event in the rodeo. Brady Good, boy, she was good today. Lightning fast. Her time, 2.6 seconds, and the best of the afternoon. And finally, let's check in on the bull riding. The bulls were a little cranky out there today. Didn't bother Young. What a stampede he has had. He wins for the second day in a row. Young on Shake It Off, they combined for 87-point ride. He has now won just over $14,000, and pretty sure he's going to be around for Sunday as well. Now, we've been talking to you about the new event at this year's Stampede, and of course, we're talking about breakaway roping. We have had some really quick times out there this week. One of the competitors is Kendall Pearson of Wardlow, Alberta. She grew up a huge fan of the Calgary Stampede Rodeo, and she can't believe she gets to compete in it. She says she is having a blast.
It's amazing. Like you said, I've been here since I was like 5 years old, just watching the rodeo and enjoying it. But now to be something competing, it's really unimaginable because it wasn't a thing until now. So to be a part of the inaugural group of girls that's rope here at the Stampede's amazing. Yeah, I actually branding pen roped since I was like 5 years old, and then I kind of got into the breakaway roping when I was like 7, 8, and then all of a sudden it just kind of went from there, and here I am now at 21 and getting to do this and live my dream out every day.
And in just over a half an hour, night 5 of the Rangeland Derby, the top 4 wagons after 4 nights of racing are Chance Vegan, Jamie Labacane, Chris Molly, and Ray Crotto Jr. Tara, back to you.
Glenn, thank you so much. We just want to give you a quick update on some breaking news that we had earlier in the show. Police had blocked off an area around Central Memorial Park after someone spotted a suspicious package. The bomb techs were on scene, but that road is being opened up right now, so 12th Avenue should be open within the next couple of minutes. Final peek of the forecast, Danielle.
Okay, well, let's look at these next 24 hours because the heat's going to break for tomorrow. 28 degrees for the next couple of hours at least, and then overnight quiet. Tomorrow morning, mainly cloudy, and then by the afternoon, we get into the chance of showers and even some thunderstorm activity is possible after 4 p.m. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right where it's free. Look at this beautiful, stunning, oh my goodness. It's so beautiful what we get to see during Stampede time. And this is, I believe, taken yesterday by RJ DeRosa. Thanks for sharing, RJ. Weather Window is brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate.
That's pretty spectacular. You can almost hear the fireworks going off in that picture.
And at that point, it doesn't really matter how hot it is. It's beautiful, and
that's
you
right.
can enjoy it.
That is a great shot. Thanks for your company tonight. We appreciate it. Have a super evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.